What is going on, YouTube-averse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another ranking video, and I had to do one for Pearl Jam. Their 12th studio album, Dark Matter, just came out last week, so yeah, we'll see where that ranks on my list, and let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. At number 12... Dark Matter. Sorry guys, I have to be that guy. This is my least favorite Pearl Jam album, sad to say, and a lot of it has to do with the production by Andrew Watt, who, you know, says he's a huge fan of Pearl Jam, and that may be part of the problem because you never want to surround yourself by yes men in the studio. That can often lead to some bad things. And just from the first single they released, Dark Matter, I was like, the sound of it, especially the over-compressed drums, just rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, if the whole album is going to sound like this, that's going to be a problem for me. And of course it does. And it's just a shame because, you know, Matt Cameron is one of the best in the business, and you can't really hear what he's doing properly on the album. So that alone is very frustrating. And then I just feel like it's kind of uninspired song-wise. There's nothing really that jumps out to me as great. There's also songs that are not good in my opinion, like Running. Like maybe the best song is Waiting for Stevie, but even that, the guitar riff is just very unoriginal and not interesting. I mean, Mike McCready has some time to shine on a lot of these songs, but even his solos, I mean, feel more like noodling than like some really soulful, inspired stuff. So for all those reasons, man, this is my least favorite Pearl Jam album. And I'm sorry, I may have lost a lot of you already because I know this is getting great reviews across the board, but for me, it's a disappointment. So that's my number 12. Now at number 11... Pearl Jam from 2006, otherwise known as the Avocado album. This was another disappointment for me at the time of its release, and it's one that I still don't come back to very often, if at all, and similar reasons. I mean, the production I think is a little better here, but some of the worst rockers of the 21st century Pearl Jam for me, like Life Wasted and Worldwide Suicide, do nothing for me. Some of the ballads are just okay. I do have to say the closing track, Inside Job, very good track, and one that's a little experimental, kind of pushing the 7-minute mark for them in a good way. So that's a cool song, but not worth coming back to revisit this one very often for me. So that's why it's my number 11. So now at number 10... Riot Act from 2002. This album is okay, but overall a little disappointing for me, even though it does have some great moments, like I Am Mine is a strong single, Thumbing My Way is a beautiful ballad, Can't Keep, the opener is kind of cool, but then you got songs like Love Boat Captain that are kind of like not great, to be honest, and Bush Leaguer, which definitely isn't great. So it's kind of a mixed bag, and overall not one I come back to a lot. So that's my number 10. Now at number 9... Lightning Bolt from 2013. This album is overall pretty okay. You've got good rockers like the title track. You've got some good power ballads like Sirens, even some good experimental kind of songs like Pendulum, which are kind of interesting. So there's a little bit to enjoy here overall, but not one of my faves, but definitely pretty solid for a Pearl Jam album. And that's my number 9. So now at number 8. No Code from 1996. This is an album that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I remember when it came out, it was just kind of over my head. I couldn't find anything to enjoy on it back then. Since that time, there's songs that have kind of grown on me, like Off He Goes and Smile. But it really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for a little while for Pearl Jam, so much so that I missed the boat on Yield. I didn't really come back to the band until later, sad to say, but yeah, No Code is just one of those albums that still, whenever I go back to it, there's moments on it where I'm like, I don't know, man. This is kind of the beginning of Eddie Vedder mumbling too much in a lot of songs, and it's like it almost purposely felt like they were trying to alienate their fans, and they were successful for a little while with me. So that's why this is lower on my list. But now at number 7, Backspacer from 2009. This is a solid, I would almost call it a comeback album for them. I mean, this one, I think Eddie Vedder's voice is just not as mumbly. It sounds great, especially on rockers like The Fixer. You've got Johnny Guitar is even a cool track. But for me, why this album shines so much is just one of their greatest ballads of their entire career, Just Breathe. Amazing song. Sounds like something that could have been on the Into the Wild soundtrack, but I'm so glad that it fits on this album. And yeah, that's why I have it this high. And now at number 6, Gigaton from 2020. Hey, you know, a lot of people weren't crazy about this album, which I guess, you know, some people love Dark Matter and hate this album. So I guess, you know, Pearl Jam, I hate to say it, but in the 21st century, they've been kind of like, since the 90s, one of the most inconsistent rock bands in that way. But for me, I thought Gigaton was great. I mean, Dance of the Clairvoyants, as much as of a Talking Heads homage as it is, I think it's just a great track. Quick Escape, I think, is one of their best rockers of the last 20 years. There's a lot to love on this record, and one that I think will grow on you if you give it a chance. And yeah, unfortunately, unlike Dark Matter, this one is the one that I go back to more frequently of recent years. So that's my number 6. Now at number 5, Binaural from 2000. Yeah, this ranks this high for me because this was kind of the album that got me back into Pearl Jam after I had left them for a little while from No Code. And songs like Nothing As It Seems, which is so weird but also so catchy, and Mike McCready just like going crazy on the guitar on this song. Just an amazing track. You've got gems like Grievance and even ukulele songs like Soon Forget, which is really cool. Parting Ways is an amazing closing track. So you got just a really solid album that may overstay its welcome a little bit, but overall it makes my top 5. So now at number 4, Vitalogy from 1994. Gotta have this in the upper echelon, man. I mean, just what the highs are so high, like Nothing Man, Better Man, Corduroy, you know, Spin the Black Circle, Not For You. The opening track, Last Exit, is so good. The lows, though, are also pretty low, like Bugs and Hey Foxy Mop Handle Mama, the closing track, kind of nonsense. And then you have some tracks that are really just filler, but I mean, the great tracks are so great that this makes it a must-have in your Pearl Jam collection, and that's my number 4. So now at number 3, Versus from 1993. Yes, man, love this record, and just the opening 1-2 punch of Going Animal. Amazing rockers, and Dave Abruzzese on drums just kills it on this whole album. But then you've got great ballads like Daughter and Elderly Woman. You've got some other great rockers towards the end of the album like Rearview Mirror and Leash. Indifference is a beautiful closing track. It's just it's really one of the best sophomore albums that any rock band has released, and that's really saying something. So now at number 2, Yield from 1998, the album that I kind of missed out on for a little while, but came back to it, and I'm so glad I did, because this is just like the most fun Pearl Jam album. And you can really feel that with the drumming of Jack Irons, which I wish he would have been on more Pearl Jam albums, man. He's one of my favorite of all of the Pearl Jam drummers. You can really feel his presence on songs like No Way and Brain of J. And you can feel that they're all just having fun experimenting in the studio. Eddie even doing like crazy voices on Do the Evolution, which is really great. Plus, you've got some great ballads like Wish List and Low Light, and then of course just some great stadium rock with Given to Fly. And I mean, there's not a weak track on here. Even the interlude Red Dot I love, and even the hidden track at the end. I just love this album so much, and that's my number 2. So now at number 1. And of course, I'm sure this is most of your number 1 as well. I mean, come on. It's almost like a greatest hits album. Alive, Even Flow, Black, Jeremy, and then gems like Oceans. I mean, every single track on here is fantastic. You've got the closing track, Release. I mean, just coming out of the gate with one of the greatest debut albums of all time. I don't think Pearl Jam will ever top it, sadly, and I was definitely hoping Dark Matter at least would be a little closer to number 1 than 12 on my list. But hey, go figure. And Pearl Jam, maybe next time will be better and be in the upper half of my list. But for now, guys, that is my ranking. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What would your ranking be? And hey, if you think my ranking is totally nuts, let me know. I'd love to talk about it with you. And guys, we got more rankings. We got top 5s every Friday, album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching. And as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.